You know, I always say on this channel, pay-per-view fights should actually be free. And now the day has come where I'm about to hook you up with an app where you can watch all your pay-per-view events, boxing, UFC, etc. for free. I want to introduce Block TV, the best internet streaming television app out there. They provide over 3,600 channels, including HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Starz. They have a massive video on demand library with over 40,000 of the new release movies and the latest TV series. And it also includes DVR. So you're getting all of this for $34.99 a month. And once again, that includes free pay-per-view. So this one right here is a no-brainer, guys, because back in Las Vegas, I was paying damn near $200 a month for my cable. Those days are long gone now. So to get the app, make sure you guys go over to getblocktv.com and put in my promo code and get 30% off your first month. You also get a free month for every friend you refer. The promo code is DBNation.
Hi, I'm Brianna.
And I'm Akira.
And you're watching
Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? First things first, I gotta say rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. This man, he accomplished so much in such a short time, and he was just getting started. I mean, he was on the verge of taking over Hollywood like Will Smith and Denzel Washington did at one point. I mean, the Black Panther movie alone was the highest grossing Marvel comic movie. The only Marvel's movie that had a higher gross was The Avengers, and that was because it was all of the superheroes in one movie. But Black Panther was the most anticipated superhero movie of all time. On Fandango, Black Panther sold more pre-sale tickets than any other superhero movie. And by the way, the photo that you guys are looking at right here, that's me going to watch Black Panther the day it came out. So there's obviously no way Chad is ever going to be forgotten. 2020 has been a hell of a year. This year won't be forgotten, I'll tell you right now. I mean, with Kobe Bryant, Chadwick Boseman, the whole pandemic, all of the police shootings, finding out so many people that you thought were your friends were never your friends. Once you hear what they have to say about all of the black people getting shot and killed by racist police officers. So 2020 was a serious game changer. So rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman and Kobe Bryant. Now let's go ahead and get into this news. So I'm sure by now you guys have heard that Terence Crawford is in serious negotiations with Kell Brook. Now, if you recall, it wasn't that long ago that Terence Crawford and his trainer, they were both saying that they only want to fight for titles, which is the reason why they're not going to fight Keith Thurman or Sean Porter. Even though Terence Crawford did say Sean Porter, he can still get it, but they're only looking for titles right now. And I said, after his trainer said that, well, if that is the case, then I guess that means that Terence Crawford is not going to fight anyone outside of the two title holders, Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. That turned out to not be the case, because very shortly after I reported that, we hear this news that Terence Crawford is in negotiations with Kell Brook. And according to reports, they're offering Kell Brook $1.5 million. Now that $1.5 million, it tells us a couple things. For one, it tells us that Keith Thurman wasn't serious when he said he wanted to fight Terence Crawford, because he was asking for $10 million. Now Terence Crawford, when he fought against Amir Khan, they did pay Amir Khan $5 million, and Terence Crawford, he made $5.5 million, way before this pandemic that we're going through. And Keith Thurman, he's asking to make the amount of money that both Terence Crawford and Amir Khan made. So I would have to agree with Bob Arum and say Keith Thurman has been extremely unrealistic, and he knows that, because I'm sure Keith Thurman, he was aware that Amir Khan got $5 million, Crawford got 5.5. When Keith Thurman fought Manny Pacquiao, he only got 2.5 up front, but he made more money on the back end. So anyway, back to Kell Brook. So they're offering him $1.5 million. There's a very good chance that Kell Brook is not going to take that money. To me, it doesn't even seem like it's worth it. Now, Gary Russell Jr., who's been aggressively calling out Terence Crawford, he said, and I quote, "You know Kell Brook isn't going to take it. We're in the prize fighting business. He wants to get his just due. You know that's not Kell Brook's just due." There's no doubt about it. Gary Russell, he has a great point. I don't see Kell Brook taking $1.5 million to get in the ring with pound for pound the best fighter in the world and having a very good chance of getting completely destroyed in that fight. He's already suffered 2 devastating knockout defeats. And if he suffers another one, his career may be over. Now, clearly he knows that's the risk going into the fight, but I don't think he's willing to take that risk for $1.5 million. So one of the main questions would be, what is Kell Brook worth if Amir Khan got $5 million fighting against Terence Crawford? I wouldn't be surprised if Kell Brook tries to push for that same $5 million that Amir Khan got. But if they're not willing to give him more than $2 million, then maybe this fight won't happen. I honestly believe it doesn't seem like it would be worth the ass whooping that he may take. Now, I'm not saying this is a guarantee win for Terence Crawford, because if the same Kell Brook that fought Errol Spence shows up, then this is going to be a very tough fight for Terence Crawford. Because even though Kell Brook, he lost that fight, he gave Errol Spence all that he could handle until Errol Spence stopped him and walked him down. Now, when it comes to my thoughts as Kell Brook as an opponent for Terence Crawford, it's a good matchup considering the fact that Kell Brook, he beat Sean Porter. In fact, he was the first person to beat Sean Porter. So that win alone makes it a good opponent for Terence Crawford. The only problem is I don't understand why Terence Crawford and his trainer would tell people we only want to fight guys with titles, which is why Terence Crawford said he didn't want to fight a Keith Thurman or a Sean Porter. But to say something like that and then end up fighting someone without a title right after you just said that is obviously a classic contradiction. So I don't know if Kell Brook is going to walk away from this deal. We'll see. I mean, once again, 1.5. We don't really know what Kell Brook is thinking. Maybe he's okay with it. Maybe he understands the situation is different because, once again, this is a different situation from when Terence Crawford fought Amir Khan. There was no pandemic, and maybe Kell Brook, he understands that. Let's see how it all plays out. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. Basically, you will end up with a haircut shape up or an edge up. What they do is they tattoo small dots that look like hair follicles in the areas where you have lost your hair and then blend it with your existing hair. You can even choose what type of hairline you want, hard shape up or soft and natural finish. And to maintain it, all you gotta do is shave your hair every few days, which is something you already were probably doing anyway. So if you wanna get this hookup for my brothers out there in the UK and Europe, make sure you check out the Scalp on Instagram. And for my brothers out there in the States, make sure you go ahead and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. And when you go on their pages, you can see for yourself what these guys look like before. I mean, these guys are literally hair magicians. I've never seen anything like this before, but all I can tell you guys is this is a serious game changer for us men. So make sure you get in contact with Scalp and Scalp Carolinas on Instagram.